and it's time to check out the Relab Color Drive. I really wanted to read the manual for this, but when I tried to open it from the plugin, it got me to a web page. Even though I chose in the installer to install the manual and presets, I could only find the presets on my computer. I couldn't find the manual. Maybe that's just me, but when I click on the Open Online manual, I just get a page that says that it's password protected and it wants a password that I don't have. I basically just downloaded the trial. It was quite easy, just email, iLock account, and yeah, that part was really easy, but getting to the manual was not. Is it just me having that problem with finding manuals for certain products? And as I remember, it was the same for the one from Hornet. And then everybody said, you got that in the, I don't know, download and whatnot. It's easy to download from their manager, whatever. I tried, I really did. And this is what I got. If I'm stupid, let me know. If you're not subscribed, please do. If you like the video, give it a like. So let's start. The first thing that I always like to check is the plugin doctor to see what actually happens with the plugin. It does give off kind of a curve of its own. Of course, it does certain things depending on the drive, and how much we're driving, and depending on what kind of transformer we're using, and guessing the calibration too. Okay, we're also pushing the gain on this filter right here. So what I want to do is maybe just let's do a default preset or something. Oh wait, oh no, is this really the preset manager? Bus color, mix and master color, Indigo Drive. Okay, that's cool. So I really like to get to the default preset. No, it's all the bus colors, all presets, default preset. Beautiful, thank you. This is what it looks like with the default preset. It's kind of wider than the signal coming in. So let me do this at, I don't know what, let's do this at 0. And when it's at 0, this is -5. So this definitely does something to the output of the signal where it's quieter than it was coming in. Usually plugins just boost that. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong, but yeah, I don't really think so. So let's see what happened to the signal, because this is a sine wave at 100 hertz. Let's do 100 hertz, please. Yeah, 99.6, that's as close as we can get. So at 100 hertz, it does generate harmonics, which is what was expected. This is a color drive. This is a saturator. So if I go all the way down, it does generate some anyways. So even at, completely low. So only when I bypass, I'm left only with a sine wave. So as soon as you engage, even with the drive all the way down, maybe if I pull down the volume, yeah, this is going to generate less and less, of course, when the signal is quieter. Okay, that's also nice. That's expected. It's a saturator, so the harder you push into it with the signal, the harder it's going to bend and create more harmonics. That's cool. So let's go to, let's say, -6. And this is the harmonics we get. So if I push harder with the drive, as they say, you're not just adding more effect. This is actually, I guess, emulating the entire circuit, pushing into the circuit, working differently on the harmonics and working differently on the transients, stuff like that. So it's supposed to be quite complicated because it's adding a lot of these harmonics. That's fine. That was expected. So what happens with all the other controls? So if I just change the output coupling from this to that, all the even harmonics just go away. So this is 100. So at a 200 disappears, 400 disappears. What I'm left with is the odd harmonics at 3, 5, 7. And when it's at the first one, it has those even ones as well. So the calibration is just going to push those up and change the basically ratio in between them. That's also cool. I don't think that this crossover is going to do anything for us right now. But right now, the crossover is not going to do anything because we just have a sine wave. So that doesn't really do nothing. So as far as the harmonics are concerned, this looks nice. We are pushing really hard into this. Yeah, so let me boost on the volume. It's already saying that by this VU meter, the input is super over 0. So at -14, it's at 0. That's the calibration, I guess. So that's what we have as far as harmonics are concerned. On the linear analysis, the frequency response, it does change a bit, kind of pushes here in the highs. I guess that this is going to be different. Yeah, depending on the curve that we try to do with this, with the filter. So mix gets it back to 0. Basically just always is quieter without any compensation. The auto gain is going to do what? Yeah, it's going to calculate it momentarily and try to get it back to unity. Calibration is also going to, affect the curve as well. Okay, cool. We're going to see what that sounds like on a real world example. And what happens with the phase? Oh, yes. Okay, so this phase flip is before the actual audible part of the spectrum. So honestly, I guess this doesn't matter. What matters is this phase change, and it's not really that bad if you think about it. Like, honestly, going with the crossover all the way up to a 400 hertz, I guess this is where the facelift is. So I would say this is okay. What about now? What about more? What about more filter? Again, nothing super crazy. It's fine. The mix is all the way up. Yeah. So nothing super crazy happens as much as I can see. Nothing that would really be disturbing regarding the phase response. Let's stop this and go into a real world example. Okay, so we have the preset manager as well. Bus color, channel color, mix and master color, summing color, vocal and melodic color. Let's try the whatever, dangerously harmonic, even plus odd, harmonic lift, transformer, Oxford solid, mix mid focus, indigo open bus. Let's see what this is gonna sound like on, of course, Psytrance today. Just a preset. So the first thing I noticed immediately is in Psytrance this kind of kick drum with a really, really powerful transient, which completely disappeared right here. So let's see if I can somehow not do that. Actually, I think a nice solution for something like this, seeing that it really does kill the transients when I, push it to get more saturation, even though this also is saturation. The thing I hear the most is the transients missing. So I'm gonna try it with the mix. So I'm gonna saturate a little bit more. So we had a tilt on, everything was on. So let's see if I can get something different. Okay, so different kind of settings for the filter really helps not to have those transients completely destroyed. So positive lifts highs and cuts lows. Negative does the opposite. Okay, so positive lifts the highs and cuts the lows so that the lows don't go so much into the saturation. Negative does the opposite. It lowers the highs and probably doesn't and lifts the lows. And shelf mode is just a high shelf gain. Okay, that's also cool. So this is actually going to help us not introduce so much of the highs or the lows into the saturation, and hence we're not going to get so much transient cut like now. Using this filter, which honestly, you see, I don't even need the manual. This explanation, quite enough for me. It just tells you what's happening with every single knob, and honestly, that's completely enough. Well done. I love tooltips because I really don't like to open another PDF if I don't have to. Really, if it's something simple and you can explain it in a sentence, amazing. Just using this tilt filter, like it can be a high shelf, but just using this tilt filter to tilt the spectrum so you can choose selectively what you're going to push more into the saturation. It's really, really, really useful. I can just keep it at neutral so we don't push more of the lows or the highs. So we're not destroying the bass and getting it distorting, or we're not pushing the highs as much so we're not destroying the transients. We can get some saturation, and then of course we can employ the mix. So even doing this and doing some mix, I think it's a nice solution. There is still some transient, but it does get killed a bit. Let's see what else we can do. Now this effect is really nice. So this is saturating, adding transients, and I can hear that indigo open bus, but I can feel like a lift on the high frequencies. And to describe that in more adjective kind of way, it's more open, sounds more open and more sparkly. I like the preset. I think I'm actually going to go through a lot of these and just see what they cooked up in a sense of, okay, here's some settings. We think this really sounds cool as a combination. So let's try that out. Too much. Some of these, especially these parallel presets, are also really, really nice. I think they add quite a color, as it should, it adds a color to the song. And I actually like some of these a lot. I have to check out if this is, as I said, worth money that they ask for it. I just want to see how much it's going to be fitting into a lot of different kinds of, genres and music. I'm guessing that it's going to be even better with other stuff not so saturated as this music already is, because this is really high in content and volume. Like everything's really fat already. The low frequency is completely full all the time. So this is quite different. I mean, it can always be worse by using, I don't know, trap drill or something that has super distorted lows already. But this is also really full, really saturated with the mid content as well. So maybe something that's less busy is going to benefit from this even more. Something acoustic, something recorded. But honestly, I like it. I just saw this and I wasn't really impressed, but I was like, okay, let's be open-minded. The analog looking knobs. I mean, people fall for this. So I really understand why people do this. And this is emulation of an analog device, I guess. It's fitting that it has this. I do like it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about half the time, of course, 40 plus hours long, completely free. Things211.org is in the description. If you hate my stupid glasses, say something. Or if you think I'm wrong about this, yeah, school me. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe if you didn't. See you in the next video. Bye.